This is my story, how we moved into our first house together, and how it became the beginning of something strange. We thought we'd found paradise, a quiet neighborhood where dreams felt real. What we didn't know was that this quiet street held secrets, and one neighbor in particular watched us like a silent predator. That was the moment everything changed. He wasn't shy anymore, he was watching. He was charming, polite on the surface, but something about his smile felt off. We thought he was just shy until we saw him standing behind his curtains, watching us. He wasn't just watching, he was always there, waiting. That night he wasn't hiding anymore. He was watching us with purpose. Mike saw the figure outside and laughed nervously at his fiancée, thinking it was just another odd moment from their strange new neighbor. Gabby noticed the neighbor had retreated quickly after being seen, her expression betraying unease even as she tried to downplay it. The next morning, Gordon arrived with a polite apology, claiming he'd only been placing an item near his window and didn't mean to intrude. Though Gabby found his apology comforting, she couldn't shake the feeling that Gordon had hidden more than he admitted. That evening, Mike heard a strange sound and woke Gabby. They both sensed something was happening outside. When Mike shouted to the figure, he didn't realize how foolish that was. And then he saw something even more unsettling. The figure disappeared quickly, slamming the gate behind him, leaving Mike and Gabby wondering who he was. The next night, the same man returned, this time bringing with him an even deeper sense of dread. Frightened, Mike called out, hoping someone would respond, but instead of help, he saw Gordon's face again. When Mike confronted Gordon at his door, he simply smiled, claiming it was nothing unusual. But Mike sensed something was wrong. Gordon's smile felt too easy, too practiced. Gordon brushed off Mike's concern, claiming such things happened often that they would get used to it. As Mike walked back inside, he couldn't shake the feeling that Gordon's kindness masked a darker truth. The next day, he invited us over for Chinese food. Friday night, we showed up around 7. The moment we stepped in, something felt off. He was drunk, already sipping wine. Said he ordered a bunch of Chinese food and made a little joke. I know you guys love Chinese food, like he was mocking us, passive-aggressive. Eventually, he started making things clear he didn't like that we were Asian, that we lived next door to him, that the town wasn't for people like us. He yelled at us, "You're not welcome here." We just stood up and left. No words until we got inside with our doors locked. We didn't know what to do. We walked door to door asking neighbors about Gordon. Some were shocked. Others weren't surprised at all. Then one night, a brick flew through our downstairs window, shattered glass all over the living room. We jumped out of bed when we heard it, ran down, saw the brick lying on the floor. No note, just a brick, knew it was him. No proof, filed a police report. They came to talk to him. He denied everything, said he didn't know what we were talking about. The cops couldn't do much except document it. We talked about cameras fighting back, but honestly, we were too scared. Not even 2 months after moving and packing again, couldn't live next to someone who hated us, who'd been in our yard at night, and then threw a brick at our house. Before leaving, filed another report. The police said they'd keep an eye on things, but we didn't feel protected. We left that house, that neighborhood, left behind the home we thought would be our first chapter. Mike reflects on their past life, haunted by the thought of what might have been. Gabby's voice echoes Mike's regret. What if they hadn't moved? The horror of their story begins to loom over the quiet neighborhood. He feels powerless, unable to expose the truth about Daniel and Veronica. He longs to reveal the truth, but fear holds him back. They decide to move forward, but the past is never far away. The events unfold in the stillness of a peaceful suburban neighborhood. They were happy, until the quiet began to crack. The couple dreams of building a future together, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. The quiet street hides secrets beneath its idyllic surface. Gabby sees beauty in the new home, but feels something is off. At first, they seemed like perfect neighbors until the argument started. Daniel and Veronica appear charming, but their kindness masks a darker truth. The couple's hospitality feels genuine, but something is wrong. The cake tastes sweet, but the silence grows heavier. The early days of their new life are calm, but the tension is building. Something begins to change. The peace is shattered. A scream pierces the quiet, and their world begins to unravel. He witnesses violence, but cannot see clearly what's happening. The argument is hidden from view, but the fear is palpable. Veronica leaves in anger and never returns. Mike noticed Daniel sweating profusely and asked why. Daniel claimed it was from working out upstairs, speaking quickly and nervously. Gabby insisted on calling the police after hearing Daniel's explanation about the scream. She requested anonymity, unaware Daniel would recognize the caller. Daniel claimed he was watching a movie upstairs when the scream occurred. This contradicted his earlier story about working out. Within 10 minutes of reporting the incident, emergency services arrived. Daniel was taken away in handcuffs while Veronica lay on a stretcher. Later revealed that Veronica had been locked in the basement for weeks and subjected to physical abuse, including rape, before her death. As Daniel was taken away, he blamed Gabby for exposing him, claiming she'd betray him and regret her decision. A few nights later, Devin woke up in the middle of the night to see Daniel's silhouette, holding a knife and whispering the same words he'd spoken before. Gabby asked Devin what was wrong. He told her it was just a bad dream. She went back to sleep, unaware of the truth. But Devin didn't sleep. The nightmare stayed with him, the exact same words Daniel had whispered in cuffs. 2 years ago, at age 24, Devin moved into a duplex in Queens, New York, unaware of the quiet horror waiting on the other side of his shared wall. That first night, Devin heard a high-pitched voice, not from TV or phone, whispering like someone trying to speak in a fake tone. 2 weeks later, the knocks began, soft at first, then growing louder. Devin could feel them vibrating through his bones. Every night he lay awake, haunted by the thought of his neighbor just 2 feet away. He heard the knocking again. 3 slow taps, a rhythm too deliberate to be accidental. A high-pitched voice echoed through the wall, clear, deliberate. He knew he wasn't alone. He called his boyfriend, whispering in terror. The voice had been too direct to ignore. He sat up until his boyfriend arrived, but the fear only grew louder. He slept deeply until he was jolted awake by the unmistakable sound of knocks again. He screamed, not just in fear, but in defiance. The voice was no longer behind the wall. He found the voice, not from the wall, it was right inside his room. He ran, heart pounding, eyes wide, screaming for anyone to hear him. He stood outside screaming, eyes wide with terror. A neighbor stepped out, frozen in disbelief. She called her boyfriend, desperate for help. His voice on the phone told her she needed help, so she called police. She dialed the police, heart pounding, as she waited alone. The police arrived. She recounted her story, voice trembling. She confirmed with absolute certainty that someone was inside. They searched every corner. No sign of anyone. She couldn't remember unlocking the door. Panic had erased it. The neighbor stayed silent. No sign he was home. She stayed with her boyfriend, still trembling long after the police left. Even without a human response, evidence of life remained. She never knew if what she saw was real or a product of her fear. Was there an intruder she missed? Or was it all her mind creating? She demanded the landlord help her. No more solitary visits. They made multiple phone calls, finally getting the landlord's agreement. She refused to enter the duplex without her boyfriend, even after moving in with parents. She questioned reality. Was it all in her head, or something more? The landlord later told her the neighbor had vanished silently. She never found the truth. Only mystery remained.